What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we got an artist spotlight on Robyn Hitchcock, brought to us by a friend, longtime supporter and patron of the channel, Ann Cat Dub. Thank you, Ann Cat Dub. Really appreciate you curating this list and all the stuff you bring to the channel. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out the Patreon link below or the patron link on the end screen. Okay, another one of our patrons, Slade, said included a Robyn Hitchcock song in one of his top 10 lists for underrated bands and artists in the UK, and I really liked it. And Cat Dub picked up on it. He messaged me through Patreon, said, "You want me to put a list together?" I said, "Man, that'd be great." So he did this, so I really do appreciate it. A little background on Robyn, if you don't know anything about him, because I sure didn't before we did the song on the other list. He's an English singer, songwriter, and guitarist. While primarily a vocalist and guitarist, he also plays harmonica, piano, and bass guitar. After leading the Soft Boys in the late 70s and releasing the influential Underwater Moonlight, he launched a prolific solo career. His musical and lyrical styles have been influenced by Bob Dylan, John Lennon, Syd Barrett, Captain Beefheart, Martin Cathy, Lou Reed, Roger McGuinn, and Brian Ferry. Those are some pretty good people to be influenced by. His earliest lyrics mined a rich vein of English surrealist comic tradition intended to depict a particular type of eccentric and sardonic English worldview. His music and performance style is originally and remains heavily influenced by Bob Dylan, but also by the English folk music revival of the 60s and early 1970s. And this was soon filtered through a then unfashionable psychedelic rock lens during the punk rock and new wave music eras of the late 70s and early 80s. This combination of musical styles won Hitchcock's band of the time, the Soft Boys, a very enthusiastic, if small, fan base, but an extremely frosty critical reception from the UK press of the era. They did not care for him. However, their final album together, Underwater Moonlight, which a song may or may not appear off that album on here, posthumously earned them a glowing reputation, particularly where I live in America, as a major influence on bands like REM and The Replacements. After finding a major success in the later 1980s in America, Hitchcock's lyrical and musical horizons broadened further to encompass a range of approaches while still retaining a recognizably surreal but more serious signature style. Hey man, we all age. A lot of us get more serious, right? He's recorded for two major American labels, A&M and then Warner Brothers, over the course of the 80s and 90s, and was the subject of a live performance documentary film, Storefront Hitchcock, by major motion picture director Jonathan Demme in 1998. Since the turn of the millennium, he has also finally received belated critical recognition in his home country. Despite this, mainstream success remains limited. He continues to tour and record prolifically and has earned strong critical reviews over a steady stream of album releases and live performances and a dedicated cult following for his unique body of work. He's worked with REM, Grant Lee Phillips, John Bryan, the Decemberists, Norwegian pop combo I Was a King, Yo La Tengo, to name a very few. So, what a background on Robyn. And like I said, I didn't really know anything about him. So, as usual, guys, the music's not going to be in the video, but it is going to be at a Vimeo link below. Check out the whole thing with me. Also, I'm going to have the lyrics up, although Ann Cat Dub warned me that some of the lyrics, good luck in interpreting them. So let's get to the first track on this artist selection. Remember, it's not a top 10 songs. There's 10 songs on it, but it's not ranked 10 to 1 or anything like that. And I gave you the tease earlier. You didn't have to wait long. We got the Soft Boys, Only the Stones Remains, off that Underwater Moonlight album. It was on the bonus tracks in 1980. Hitchcock, remember, originally formed the Soft Boys band. Their second studio album, lead track on their 1981 album, which was a compilation album, but if you have that or are familiar with the two halves, for the price of one. So thanks again, Ann Cat Dub. Let's get after it. All right, Only the Stones Remain. I can definitely see the influence, especially on the Replacements. And it's only one track off the album, but I can see where REM was influenced too. But like I said, there may be other songs that are more REM influenced, but the Replacements for sure on here. Great guitar work, great drumming. Robyn's vocals, the way it's kind of mixed, just super enjoyed it. Talking about all these things that happen in life and kind of how at the end of the day, man, we all die, right? And only the Stones remain. So I thought it was kind of clever songwriting on this one as well. But just a banger to start this thing off with, right? Let's go to the next track. We got Egyptian Cream off the Fegmania album in 1985. The next two songs are going to be off that. It's the fourth studio album, first with the Egyptians. So you'll see it Robyn Hitchcock. Sometimes you'll see it Robyn Hitchcock and the Egyptians. It kind of matters of what you're reading there on the. This is the first song on the album. Egyptian Cream, one of those songs I was really wondering about whenever I saw the song title. Like, what is this song about? And guess what? I'm still wondering. I have no idea. She puts the Egyptian cream on her, and 7 months later, she looks like a man. She's out in the Sahara, and then she ends up getting pregnant, and all these fingers come out of the sand. I don't know, but it really doesn't matter because the soundscape of it, the guitar work was fantastic coming in there behind Robyn, the harmonizing. So it was a really good song. I'm really wondering what we're going to get with this next song. It's off the same album as well, and it also has that interesting name, The Man with the Light Bulb Head. Let's go. The Man with the Light Bulb Head. I think when Cat Dub said good luck on these lyrics, this might be one of them he was thinking about. Bass work on here was fantastic. The drumming kicked up on, I don't know if I'd call it the chorus, but it sounded a little Beatlesque, right? Little Sgt. Pepper Beatlesque type era there. So I thought there was a lot of stuff going on, and then some interesting stuff on the outro. And then we had voices coming in where he's talking to his son. I'm the man with the light bulb head. I turn myself on in the dark. I turn myself on a lark. And how about you, my pretty one? That's where the drumming comes in and like the Sgt. Pepper type thing. Do you still roll and dream of bees? How about you, my pretty one? Do you still dream of bees? And then he's the light bulb head. He's alone like a queen in bed with a barrel of vodka and lime. And now he asks the girl if she still smears herself with jam. How about you, my pretty one? You know who I am? And then it's the kid. Daddy, it's the man with the light bulb head. Avert your eyes from his gaze, Junior. We might be saying, but Daddy, it's you. You're too late. I've come to turn on you. And then he laughs. I don't know, man. But musically, it was so dang good, right? It was just so good. It doesn't really matter what he was singing about. That's good because I can't tell you what he was singing about. Now we got another one that could turn interesting. Veins of the Queen. Veins of the Queen. Oh, what a song, man. What a song. Subject matter, it's obviously about the Queen. I don't know if it's about the Queen, but I mean, as I'm filming this, she just recently passed away. I didn't mention this is off Queen Elvis in 1989. So 4 years after those last two songs. It was his seventh studio album. The riff on here was just fantastic. It was just infectious. It drove the whole thing. But then the horns come in and become very prominent for the first time in our list. Nice call and response in there, just talking about different things about the Queen and the veins of the Queen. Do you really know her and all this stuff? So I thought his voice sounded fantastic. I did actually feel some Beatles influence on there as well, even though that's not something that was mentioned in everything that I read on who influences him. But man, that song instrumentally was just so good. Next up, we got One Long Pair of Eyes. One Long Pair of Eyes. I have no idea what this song's about. We'll say it's some sort of, if you mix them with Turner, some of it just seems like a stream of consciousness, some verses, but maybe he's in love with this girl. That's what I'm going to go with here. Who knows? I'll tell you what, man, the piano on here was fantastic. Just the way Robyn sings, right? He understands how to own a song and take you on a journey through it, just with his vocal inflections and his styles. I don't know what it is about this song. I just really, really like this song. I mean, the way he holds like one long pair of eyes, just all of it, man. All of it. But the piano was fantastic. All the instrumentation and musicianship on all these songs have been so well done. The production is so well done. The lyrics, like I said, they don't always matter. But man, that was a good song. We're somehow already halfway through with this list. Next up, we have Ride. Ride. So this one builds the melody through the acoustic and the drum throughout, right? Robyn is a master of building melodies out of different instrumentation, and that is a rare thing. This one, I actually do think I can make something out of the lyrics. I think Ride is also what maybe us in the States would call roll with it, just ride it out, maybe roll with it. Yeah, that's what life is. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to see anyone. All you got to do in this world is ride. All you got to do is ride. It's the end of a long, hard decade. And before the next long, hard decade, by the end of which 1 billion creatures yet unborn will die. That's pretty good. All you got to do is ride. And then he goes with love me, love me, love me. That's what all the papers say. And then we get that little, he's really good at the call and response, right? But they used to be trees. Hold me, hold me, hold me. Please don't let me get away. He matches the love me 2 lines later with hold me, hold me. But if you don't love yourself, what's the use in someone else loving you? You don't have to sharpen yourself. You're embedded deep as it is. All you got to do in this world is ride. You don't have to worship the chair. You don't have to sleep with a judge. All you got to do is ride. And that love me. That's what everybody says. Everybody but me. Hold me, hold me, hold me. Please don't let me get away. But if you don't love yourself, what's the use of loving someone else? And just put your hands down, pick up your head, and ride. And at the very end, Better Ride On Home. But he never gets in a hurry, right? He lets stuff just play out. It just feels perfectly paced. So this one is also one of my faves. We got 4 tracks left. This is one of them I've been looking forward to. It's Dark Green Energy, but it's got additional vocals by REM's Michael Stipe. REM's one of my faves. Let's do it. Dark Green Energy. You know, Michael Stipe did the response on some of these on the call and response, which Robyn just loves the call and response. It gives it such a great sound. This one definitely sounded REM-ish, although if they were influenced by Robyn Hitchcock, maybe it sounded Robyn Hitchcock-ish, right? I don't know. But the jangly guitar in there and just the soundscape that was built in here, a nice little 3-minute, 14-second track. Once again, not really sure what it's about. I mean, it's dark green energy, of course, but the world is full of sap and oil until it bursts just like a boil, and it's mine and it is yours. It's in my spine and through your pores. See my dark green energy. The light of mine, it never fails. That's where Stipe comes in. It's very dark. Stipe comes in. It never pales. From every dream across the land, into your mouth, into your hand, temptation crawls just like a fly, into your heart, into your eye. Here's some for me and some for you. I love you, but I know you know I do. And then see my dark green energy. There's just, it's once again, it's the soundscape built. I'm a broken record here. It doesn't have to be about the lyrics. And I'll address that at the end because I'm known as a lyrics guy around here. But yeah, that was very, very REM sounding. Really good choice. I'm glad Cat Dub put that on here. We're back to those cool song titles. We got Sinister But Happy off the Mossy Elixir album in 1996. This is the first song on the album. After the death of Robyn's father, he hadn't made much music in 5 years. He broke off from the Egyptians. This album is mostly acoustic. The death of his father is also going to influence the next song that we have. Definitely had acoustic in there, but we also had some electric stuff going on. Also, I'm going to say that was a violin. I'm not sure what that was. I'm pretty sure that's what that was, but at the start of it, and then it kind of came in throughout. But, you know, we had a nice minute-plus intro that I really enjoyed. It just kind of ramped things up. And this song, you actually can't tell us about. It's about what it says. It's about sinister, but she was happy, right? She kind of did all these things, but she was still happy with her life. And she, on her death words, were the same as the way she lived her life. He tells us at the start of the song and all these things that she does, but she's still happy. She was sinister, but she was happy. Once again, the way Robyn sings, it's just a really well put together song. All right, we got 2 songs left. We're going to rewind 3 years. We're going to go Driving Aloud, in parentheses, Radio Storm, from the Respect album in 1993. This is his last record with the Egyptians. It was written and recorded in the period following the death of his father. Remember the last song, Sinister, but she was happy, is in 96, so we're a little ways down the line. And several songs reflect his the period he was going through explicitly. I don't know if this one does or not. Hitchcock has said that he does not like this overall album. Although he thinks the songs are good, he's not happy with the end result. He partly blames this on how his unsettled life was at the time, saying, quote, I was at a bit of fault line in my life. I was going back and forth across the Atlantic all the time. I wasn't really properly focused on how it came out. The extended time it took to record the album meant that he lost focus. And since then, he's made a point of making records in short 2 or 3 day bursts. So it's definitely had an influence on him. Driving Aloud, Radio Storm. I think a different type of song than any song we've heard so far, even though a lot of the songs are different, if that makes any sense, the soundscape and stuff. I do think it's somewhat about a toxic girl, but it's about all kinds of other things in there, but a definite different sound and more of a, I would say almost a tension-filled background on this one with the way that the riffs were working and just the ramp-ups and Robyn's voice is always, he knows how to inflect it into the mood of the song. All right, we're to our final song of Cat Dub's Artist Spotlight. Remember, this isn't a top 10. This isn't his number 1 pick, just the way that Cat put this together. We got Winchester off the Element of Light album. All the way back, we're rewinding it to 1986. Winchester, what a way to finish this thing out. The vocal layering on there was incredible, man. It just built this soundscape and texture, man, that I just loved, and it sounded 1986 to me, yet very fresh, like in a good way. 1986, I was 15 years old, so it brings back some good memories there, man. And, the bass work was prominent in there, which isn't always the case in all these songs. Like I said, just such variance here from Robyn in building melodies and good songs, man. This song is, I think, reminiscing about Winchester and his friends and, maybe there's no one there at all. Maybe there's no one left who cared. And then a little bit of a weird First in there, we got to have them in there. Water meadows curling round the hill, bodies in the stream, I see them still. And I don't want to hurt you, but I will. Walking through the dark towards your door, listen to the groovers, how they snore. And I just didn't know what love was for in Winchester. Now there's nowhere at all. So just, I mean, a really great way to finish this list off. Now we're going to get to my favorite tracks. And I'll tell you, I mentioned it a few songs ago, but you know, I'm kind of known as the lyrics guy. I really enjoy lyrics. I enjoy the art form of it. A good songwriter gets my respect. I think there's good songwriting from Robyn, but that's not his overall goal, right? His overall goal is to build a soundscape. And I mean, REM is obviously influenced by him and Stipes on one of these, so I can say this. You know, I used to not be able to stand REM when I was a teenager. Now I love them, and it goes against Murmur is one of my favorite albums and their debut. And all the lyrics in Murmur, basically, almost all the lyrics, are nonsensical. So I don't have to have lyrics. And with that, I'm going to tell you, man, I love this list. And I'm looking at my favorite tracks. And I don't know, man, there's just too many of them. Like every once in a while, I come across this where there's just a ton of them. Instead of just going, well, I'm going to boot some of these out so I have a set number of 3 or 4. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you all of them. Honorable mentions, we got Veins of the Queen. We have Dark Energy, the one with Stipe. I imagine you guys could figure that one out. Sinister, But She Was Happy. And then this last song, Winchester. My fave's the very first song with the Soft Boys, Only the Stone Remains, off that Underwater Moonlight, highly influential album. One Long Pair of Eyes, I told you when that song was on. I don't know why. There's something about it I love. And Ride, that acoustic and drum building that melody throughout. So what a fantastic list put here by ANCAT Dub. Remember, I'll just remind you one more time, it is not a top 10, so don't come in with, I can't believe Winchester was number 1. And, you know, these lists are so hard to put together to curate these things. But let me know what you liked on here, what your favorites were, what else I should check out from Robyn Hitchcock. Thanks for coming along for the ride. No pun intended. I had to do it with me on this one. Until next time, guys, I will see you.